Hare Krishna. In worrying about what all may go wrong, we go wrong. Worry is among the most unproductive of human activities. We dissipate hours and hours of time agonizing about future things that may go wrong. And we actually don't consciously sit down and think that, okay, this is the time I'm going to worry about this. Worry, worry saps away our time and energy just as a leak in a bottle saps away the bottle, especially if that leak is so small as to not be visible and the bottle is kept somewhere where we don't notice that it is leaking very easily. We don't notice it very easily. So, like that, when we worry about what all may go wrong, by that worrying, we go wrong. Now, certainly, we human beings have the intelligence to foresee the future according to our capacity and to try to prepare for any contingencies that may come up. But that requires calmness and clarity. And such calmness and clarity is what is obscured by worrying. So, worrying is what we usually do when we are overwhelmed by the lower modes of nature, just the moguna. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 35th text, Krishna says that Yaya Swapnam Bhayam Shokam Vishadam Madameva cha Vimunchati Durmedha Dhruti Sapartha Tamasi. So, Dhruti Tamasi, this refers to intelligence in the mode of ignorance. What is that intelligence? He says, where one holds on to Swapnam, to daydreaming, Bhayam, to fearfulness, Shokam, to moroseness, Vishadam Madamevacha, to habitual dejection and intoxication. Such is the determination in the mode of ignorance. That means when there is a perverse obstinacy to hold on to things that are harmful, that is determination in the mode of ignorance. And worrying is typical of such misdirected determination. So, the very nature of the human condition is that there are some things in our control and some things not in our control. And even among the things that are in our control, we have control over them only in the present. So, for example, if a student is preparing for an exam and student has to memorize some things. Now, even if the student has got a good capacity to memorize, that student can memorize only in the present. So, that means they can memorize something now and then they can wait. If they may memorize something later, if they start worrying what all will come in the exam, then that worry will paralyze them from concentrating and memorizing properly. And even if, say, exam comes up at that time, if there's one question whose answer they don't know, now the worry that there will be another question coming up in future, or worry that, oh, I may not be able to answer the next question also, I may not be able to remember the next answer also. That may paralyze them, and even if they could otherwise have memorized the first answer, next answer, they would not be able to memorize that. And after the paper gets over, they will be worrying about what is going to happen in the next paper, and thus they will not be able to prepare and memorize for that paper also. So in this way, habitual worry will reduce them to helpless misery, and it will reduce their life to a living hell. So that's how, when worrying about what may go wrong, oh, what if I forget that? What if I forget that? And then what happens? In worrying about such things, they make things go wrong because they don't memorize what they could have memorized, and they make things go wrong. And this, what applies to students, applies to all of us in our life also. And how do we counter worrying? There are various practical steps. One of the most practical steps is turning towards an unchanging spiritual reality. When we focus on the highest spiritual reality, Krishna, then by focusing on Krishna, we learn to get an inner sense of calmness and clarity, because Krishna is our supreme benefactor, he's a supreme guide. So when we know that Krishna is with us, when Krishna cares for us, Machittaha sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi, If you become conscious of me, you will cross over all obstacles by my grace. Krishna says in 18.58. When we meditate on this truth, then we get the calm focus to do what is in our control, to do that efficiently, and to leave in God's hands the things that are not in our control. And thus, when we practice meditation to connect with God on a regular basis, then we are able to connect with Him even when we would start worrying, and thus we can direct ourselves towards Krishna and become purified of the contamination of worry. Thank you. Hare.